Hey there world, Travis Young, how's it going? Realized I didn't put a video in the past week, so here we are sitting at Costco. But I just figured I'd talk about a few things that I've been thinking about and a few of the things that I've been chatting with about some of my friends. And I think one of the biggest things that I've been talking about recently is fear. And it's really interesting because everybody I talk to, I always hear the same thing. There's like this expectation out there that sooner or later in your life you're going to get to a point where you don't feel fear. And I want to debunk that myth right now. I've talked to some people who are very successful. I've talked to some people who are very outspoken in their faith. And it always comes down to the same thing. It's not that fear disappeared. It's that people got to where they got because they were willing to overcome their fear. And so I guess based on some of the conversations that I've had with other people, I wanted to share some insight that I've had on fear and how to overcome it, because I feel like lots of the times we limit ourselves based on where we're at, but we don't think that we're actually ever going to move past where we're at, if that makes sense. And so there's two things that I heard about fear. It's face everything and rise, or forget everything and run. And I talk to people and I say you can either have 5 minutes of faith or you can have 5 minutes of fear. And your ability to overcome fear is going to be dependent on the way that you think. And so I just want to share a quick little dialogue that I have with myself sometimes in my brain. If there's something that I'm scared of doing, if there's something that I don't feel like doing. And I think, and here it is, the basis of it is most people, when they think about fear, whatever situation they're in, they're basing all their thoughts off of what if I fail? What if I fall? They think, what happens if this doesn't turn out the way that I want it to? And that's really interesting for me because that's a very negative mindset. And so I'll tell you right now, the secret to overcoming fear is changing the way that you think. I'll say that again. The secret for you overcoming fear is changing the way that you think. Stop focusing on the negative. Stop focusing on what if I fall? What if I fail? Stop focusing on what if what I do doesn't work. What you need to do is change the way that you think, and you need to change the question and start focusing on what happens if when you step out in faith, or when you do something that you don't feel comfortable about doing, what happens if you do that and it works? What happens if you're successful when you attempt? What happens if you fail? Like, it doesn't matter. Think about all the positives. Think about what actually could change, what actually could happen when you step out in faith. And so, and that's not like a religious analogy. That's faith in yourself, faith in who you believe you were called to be, faith in knowing where you're going and what you're called to and what you want to accomplish and achieve in your life. And so that's what I would just say is change the way that you think about the circumstances that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And once you start to change the way that you think, and once you start to focus on the positive instead of the negative, you're going to find that you're going to start to be able to overcome your fear. And I guess the last thing that I'll just add to this, because I want to keep it under 4 minutes, is if you start to think about what happens on the other side of fear, if you start to think about what could be possible, that's when you're going to start to achieve, and that's when you're going to start to actually overcome your fear. You need to stop looking at the before the wall of fear, and you need to figure out that once you overcome your fear, because think about it, just think about the possibilities. Think about the good things that are on the other side of fear. And when you start to meditate on those things, when you start to think about those things, it's going to be easier for you to overcome fear because you know what the end result will be. So just wanted to share that. Love you all. Peace out. Let's go change this world together.